And welcome back to another episode of Born to Talk About Sports. I am your host, Steve Bourne, and as you can tell, I'm in a bit of a different location right now. It's just we've got some things going wrong at the castle here, so I had to mix a few things up here. It's part of the reason I've been away for a bit is battling cold and getting sick, but I'm doing better now, and had a good Father's Day weekend with my dad at a charity golf tournament, and ready to go. Today's topic will be superstar treatment in professional sports, how it can be good and bad. It can be good because it can learn to protect the players and keep players healthy. If you want to go back to, say, with Tom Brady, the year he got hit in his knee and had to miss the entire year. Next thing you know, they bring in a rule where you can't hit quarterbacks pretty much below the knee. And they've in-game officials have tried to, I guess, protect star players by either calling almost any little incident on them, or they'll have to commit an egregious act just to get a penalty. Like I said, it can be good and bad because it almost looks like you're coddling them, which gives them a bit of a, I guess it's the term, a wuss image, or a very, very light image. But also, like I said, a successful league has their star players playing. And in baseball right now, with instant replay, it is kind of tough to protect star players with like star calls. But, I mean, the closest you can get now without having to go to instant replay to review everything is certain pitchers will get strikes, say a ball or two off the plate, or maybe a superstar hitter will get that borderline pitch called a ball. Basketball is probably the most obvious ones where it's actually well known, where you have to earn your calls. Unless you're a top prospect coming out of college, like a LeBron James or somebody like that, where you don't have to earn a damn thing to begin with. LeBron was getting those borderline calls or obvious non-travel calls pretty much since he got drafted in 2003 by the Cavs. So like I said, it can have its good and bad, but also for players who, let's say, who play a bit more dangerously and have gotten suspended from time to time, when they get sucker shot, justice from the league can be a little cruel. Say go back to the Nazem Kadri getting drilled from behind on Patrick Kane. Not Patrick Kane, sorry, Evander Kane. If Evander Kane laid out, say, Nathan McKinn and Gabriel Landeskog, Cal McCarr, he gets more than a game. I think everybody pretty much would understand that. But since Nazem Kadri has a playoff history, twice in Toronto, once last year in Colorado, of getting sucker shots, it was almost karma, I guess. I mean, only one game for a guy who hasn't played a playoff game yet, and that playoff game since, and that was over 2 weeks ago. It ended up being game for the Western Conference Finals, which ended up being the rest of the season anyways. But still, that's the kind of thing, like, I mean, Brad Marchand, the guy's been suspended more times than anybody in the history of the game. But if he gets drilled, do you think that guy's probably going to get the same amount as if they would a sucker shot to Patrice Bergeron or David Pastrnak? Highly unlikely. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where you live by the sword, die by the sword. Hockey, hockey's one of those ones where definitely the superstar treatment is in there, but it's also you reap what you sow. Hell, you want to go back to 2002, the infamous Game 5, Danny Alfredsson shot from behind on Darcy Tucker. If he nailed, say, I mean, I know he wasn't playing, but say Matt Sundin or Gary Roberts or somebody like that, the arm probably goes up for at least 2 minutes for boarding, maybe 5 in a game. But since it's Darcy Tucker, who the hell cares? He's not a superstar player. Let him die on the ice with well, not die, but roll around on the ice with a cracked shoulder blade. Well, Alfredsson ends up scoring the game-winning goal. Again, while he's on the ice. But, yeah, no, hockey, I mean, hell, if you want to go back even a bit, say, 9 years prior to that, the infamous Gretzky high stick on Gilmore. I mean, there was only one referee on the ice, but when Kerry Fraser has said, he's asked his other linesmen, did you see what happened? They said, we didn't see a thing. And replay clearly shows them staring right at Gretzky, high sticking Gilmore in the face. I mean, it is what it is. And, that incident happened 30 years ago. Time to move on. But still, again, that's a superstar treatment from the officials. Where it probably didn't work out best for the league because it was a little too painfully obvious that Gretzky was getting breaks from the officials. And like I said, it can be a good thing because it can protect players, but also leagues have to hold their stars accountable when they screw up. A 5-game suspension to somebody like Kyle Clifford should also be a 5-game suspension to somebody like Connor McDavid. Or say a penalty to a linebacker tackle, say if somebody like Josh Allen gets sacked, or Sam Darnold in Carolina, or not so much sacked, but say an illegal hit to the head. It should be the same. I mean, Tom Brady has been the master of, you look at Brady the wrong way and it's a 15-yard penalty. Well, other quarterbacks, you pretty much have to give them the good old-fashioned sweet chin music with a fist or a kick, and you might get a 10-yard misconduct penalty. So like I'm saying, it's superstar treatment it has its goods, it has its bad. It's like I said, it's one of those things where it'll always go down that he got a call like this because he's a star, or he gets off easy because of suspension of a star, or you're going to throw the book at him because he took out a star player. Or, simple put, is he'll get nothing because the guy he took out is a goon, or had it, quote unquote, had it coming. Consistency is key. I mean, I think a lot of people, the thing you want from officials and league handling out discipline is key, is consistency. You're never going to get it. I mean, hell, Auston Matthews got 2 games for a cross-check to the back of a guy's neck that the guy didn't even flinch. Well, Evander Kane gets 1 game for drilling a guy from behind and shattering his thumb where he needed surgery. So, again, who honestly, who knows anymore? But like I said, I'm more on, I think superstars should get a bit more, or should get more benefit of the doubt from on-field, on-play, surface of play of officials, just because, let's face it, people pay to see the first-line center, not the fourth line, not the third-pairing defenseman. But then you've got, in like the rare circumstances where I think we can all agree that Auston Matthews is one of the superstars of the NHL, up until probably the final month of the year, he was actually in the bottom quarter of the league in penalties drawn. And it's one of those mind-boggling stats where the guy has the puck on his stick more seconds than almost anybody, yet couldn't draw a call to save his life. I mean, we could all look at the goal that was scored on the Leafs in Arizona in overtime, where Matthews literally gets hooked right off his skates. Arizona comes the other way, scores the OT winner. But, again, we don't know what happened on the ice. Maybe Matthews said something to tick off the officials, and this is their revenge. I hope it's not that petty, but honestly, you never know these days. After the whole Tim Peel incident from a season or so ago, where he admitted that he just wanted to call a penalty against Nashville to even things up. the whole idea of, oh, the officials are just calling what's on the ice. They're not looking to even up calls. You can throw that naivete right out the window. The whole idea of game management is, I understand it to an extent, but just call the damn things. I mean, hell, in baseball, before instant replay, how many almost every borderline call at first base or home plate, or any of the bags really, did the Red Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers, they got 100% of the time. Always went their way. And until instant replay came in, that really showed. It's like, no, you have to actually, call the legit safe out, regardless if it's Milwaukee versus Houston or Boston versus Baltimore. But yeah, so that's my thought on superstar treatment. Not just players, but teams will get the benefit of the doubt. I mean, a Yankee logo has more effect to an umpire than, say, a Pittsburgh Pirate logo, or in basketball, LA Laker logo, or Golden State Warriors has more effect than a Washington Wizards or a Toronto Raptors. Unfortunately, it is the way it is. What the Raptors did in 2019 is actually really surprising, considering, let's face it, the Raptors have always been in the bottom half of the league in free throws taken per game, and yet to still on to win a championship is, I know Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry and all them, but still, when you're almost playing a little bit behind the eight ball, knowing that you have to work a little bit harder just to get calls that the other teams tend to get a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt. It is, like I said, it is what it is. The players who aren't superstars know what they're up against. They fight through it, and that's why they're in the professional leagues instead of in the minors. Again, I'm running a bit long here, but it's been a while. So again, tell me what you think. With the jersey here, it'll rotate. It won't just stay Josh Allen. It's the first one I grabbed. Yeah, so this will probably be my set for at least the next month and a half. Tell me what you guys think. Is superstar treatment good for sports or bad for sports? Leave a comment, like this video, share it with your friends, and let's get the party going. Enjoy your summers, everybody. And until next time, this is Born to Talk About Sports.